In this video, we're going to use a Venn diagram to answer some questions about how many students play football or rugby at a certain school. And they must either play football or rugby, okay? So we've got 35 students at this school at St. Peter's College, and they either played football or rugby. So we can see that from the question that 18 played football and 22 played rugby. So if we add these numbers up, that adds up to 40, okay? But the question states that there were 35 students. So we can see quite clearly that 40 is more than 35. So it's actually 5 more than 35. So we'll see that 5 students played football and rugby. Okay. Next, we want to have a look at how many people in total played football, as shown by the pink coloured circle that I'm colouring in yellow at the moment. Okay. So the question tells us that 18 played football, but we've already accounted for 5 of those people. So we actually need another 13 that will play only football, and 5 will play football and rugby. So that's 18 who play football. And then next we want to look at rugby. Okay, so we've already identified that 5 students will play rugby and football, but 22 will play rugby. So we need to look at 5 plus what is 22. So it's 17. Okay, and we can confirm that of the 35 students, all of our numbers in our Venn diagram must add up to 35. So we've got 13 plus 5 plus 17 does equal 35. Okay, now that we've written numbers in our Venn diagram, we're ready to solve these questions. And question 1 asks, how many students play both football and rugby? And so both of them is actually where the 2 circles in our Venn diagram overlap. So that's 5 students will play football and rugby. And the probability for question 2, the probability that a student plays both football and rugby is actually 5 divided by the number of students. 5 divided by 35. Okay. Next, with question 3, how many students play only football? And so only football is shown in our Venn diagram as the section that I'm colouring in yellow at the moment. That's football, but not rugby. So it's only football. And so that's 13 students. And the probability that a student plays only football is 13 divided by the total number of students is 35. So it's 13 over 35. Question 5, how many students play either football or rugby? And so this means that they can play football and rugby, or they can just play only rugby. And so that either football or rugby, it's any of the numbers, we add them all up inside of both of the circles. So it's 13 plus 5 plus 17. And so in this situation, it is 35. So actually every student who was asked plays either football or rugby. And when we write that as a probability, it's the number 35 divided by how many students who were asked is 35. So it's 35 divided by 35. So we've used a Venn diagram to calculate how many students will play a co-curricular sport, and also we've been able to identify the probability of students playing either football or rugby. Thank you.